Camilla George, you are fresh from a performance last night at the EFT London Jazz Festival. Are you buzzing? Are you recovering? What mode are you in?
I think it's both.
Yeah.
Buzzing because it seemed, when we said we're going to do this gig, I was like, how's it going to work? It's like so many elements, but really enjoyed it. I'm in recovery because I really enjoyed it, so now I'm tired.
I get that. So we've known each other for a little while. I've admired your work as a saxophonist, as a band leader, as a composer, the way that you merge music from the West and music inspired by Nigeria. And I feel like last night is another kind of, I want to say, like, side to your music, in that you demonstrated a little bit of who you are through the Take 5 scheme and the 20 years that has been going for, and your passion for music education. So talk us through the concept of last night's event and what it was in celebration of.
So it was in celebration of Take 5, which I did. I'm actually trying to remember when I did it. It was a while ago, let's say that. Nabaya was one of the cohort when I did it. And it's a project where it's an artist development project where you take time, or take 5, out of your life to focus on developing yourself as an artist, and also to learn the business of music, which, you know, it's definitely, when I did Take 5, didn't have a clue, and it was really helpful.
That's great. It's something that I feel is really valuable for artists to know, because there's so much focus on creativity, on developing your craft, but really when it comes to the industry side, that is something that a lot of artists struggle to get to grips with. So the Take 5 scheme is very much about kind of balancing that out, right? There's the creative element, but there's also the industry element. So you're a graduate of Take 5.
Yes.
Take us back in time and tell us about the things that you learned that you could share with other artists.
Yeah, I did Take 5 it was at a crucial moment for me. So I'd done my first album, didn't really know much about releasing it, but was happy to get it released under a small jazz label. And then I was coming up to the second album, which I knew was going to be a slightly bigger project, but didn't have a clue how to get that out into the world. And through Take 5, I learned about, things being, getting on the playlists, etc. For the first album, again, that completely bypassed me. But for this second album, I really focused in on the business elements, and we were having people coming to speak to us from Tidal, etc. And as well as, doing an album is expensive. Unless you're independently wealthy, that can be a real barrier to producing music. So we had people coming from PRS, Arts Council, to talk to us about how you get successful grants, because there is a way. It's like funding speak, and not everybody knows that. I feel like they gave us the key to be like, right, okay, I know what I need to do in order to have a chance of getting the money, basically.
Right, figure it out from the inside.
Yeah, I felt like there was a lot of insider knowledge which not everybody has access to. So yeah, I felt very lucky.
That's great. How do we make that information more accessible? Do you find in what you do as an artist that you're able to work with musicians that are coming up behind you and help pass on that information?
Definitely. Well, I came through Tomorrow's Warriors, and now I'm a trustee, so I'm quite hands-on with the people coming through the Warriors, but I think generally to help people, it needs to be in the conservatoires. You spend all this money and time going to these fancy music colleges, learning how to play jazz. Let's say you're in the jazz course, and then you end it, and then you have no idea how to get a gig. And I think that's the thing. And then once you've got a gig, you've got no idea of how you should do stuff. I was very lucky. Take 5 was a great experience. I also had a very formative touring experience with China Moses, because Americans really tour. It's a very serious touring kind of mentality. That's another side as a musician that you have to get together, as well as the business. If you're going to be a side person, you need to learn how to be a side person.
Right. So that experience you had in the US, was that specific to touring the US or specific in your experience as sort of a side artist?
I think it was more side artists because we didn't do the US, but China Moses is American, but just that's that mentality of very, you know, sometimes quite hard touring and learning how to deal with being on the road and away from all your comforts, how to practice on the road. There's a lot to be learned, and again, this is stuff that isn't really taught in music college. So you kind of have to learn it by falling in the deep end.
Yeah. How do you handle it? What are your creature comforts when you're away? Because I do think that's something that a lot of music fans tend to miss. You know, we go to see an artist perform, they're having the time of their lives, they're meeting fans afterwards. But actually, it's a really quite fatiguing cycle for an artist to travel, gig, socialise, bed, do it again, despite it being a massive joy. So how do you kind of handle that energy, and what are the creature comforts that you bring with you on tour?
I think you have to find time for yourself. It's very easy, especially when you're new to touring, to just want to be on the hang all the time. Drinks, yay, I'm going to do this and that. You just get tired, and also you get tired of each other. And I think the beauty of, you know, with my band, we all love each other. We are a family. We've been playing together for 10 years. But, you know, Dan might need time on his own, or, you know, somebody else might need time in their room. And when we do come together to do stuff, it's great. But that's usually before the gig. Yeah. So, you know, I think that having independence on the road, I like reading as well. That's a really nice kind of bit of solitude that I'm reading my book now. I'm not talking to anyone.
Doing something quite normal.
Yeah.
Grounding, when there's lots of people celebrating who you are and the things that you've done.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Let's talk more about your music, because we've been talking about the world around your music. But your last album,
Ibio.
So Ibio came out in 2022, and it really kind of, again, demonstrates your love of fusing music from the West and from Nigeria. And it's been a few years since then. So I would love to know where you are creatively, what it is that is fueling your creative process right now.
Yeah. Well, I'm writing a new album. I have been slightly delayed. I had to write the thing for Sirius, which was great. And I've got a few other commissions that I've been working on. But this album I'm quite excited about. I won't say the theme as yet, but I'm delving deeper into my roots, I suppose, my ancestry, and I do really like writing things that are based on stories. Any story. I love all the little stories that I was told when I was growing up, and then do more research and then asking family members or etc. It's a nice way for me of writing music, because I can hear what the music's going to be like, or I can almost get the blueprint from the words, and then that's how I approach writing.
That's beautiful. I would love to ask you, I always think with creativity that there is an element of input and output. So when I'm creating whatever it might be, I might think, okay, am I full and am I ready to create something, or do I need some input in order to get there? I wonder if that resonates with you, and if so, what stage of that you're at right now?
Yeah, it definitely does, because there was a time, for quite some time, when I was touring very, very hard, that I was definitely half full. I didn't have enough time or mental space to actually think about writing, until I actually forced myself to take some time out to go to my studio and just practice and write, and just, even if I thought it was rubbish, I wouldn't throw it away. I think that's the thing.
That's important. I think it's good to kind of just sort of like push through and like almost get through the weeds almost. You want to like create something, be like, okay, I've got this. Now what happens if I go a little bit further and a little bit further? So I think that kind of habitual daily writing almost can be really, really valuable, right?
Definitely. And that was something that Jason Yard was saying to me, is that he does that. He writes every day. And I think he's one of I think in terms of UK jazz composers, he's definitely one of my favourites. And you can really see that because he's honed his compositional skill. because probably he's done it so much and obviously he studied so much.
Beautiful. Camilla, I could talk to you all day, but before I let you go, are there any particularly rising artists that you would love to spotlight and for us to go and listen to right now?
Yeah, there's a saxophone player called Donovan Hafner, an alto player who's an incredible musician and a great composer, and he's got a really great band. They've been touring a lot. And there's also another young saxophonist called Maddie Coombs, plays tenor, and she's just got a fantastic sound. And again, I really like her compositional style.
Great, good calls. Camilla, thank you so much.
There is. Thank you.